Hey there, my friends. Welcome to this mini reading vlog. I am finally going to read When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This book, I'm not gonna lie, this book has intimidated me for quite a while. As much as it sounds exactly like something I'm going to love, it's over 700 pages long. And once people started really getting into it, it's had some very mixed reactions. So it's been beloved by a lot of people, and then other people have just not been able to get through it. So I'm very, very curious to see what my reaction is going to be. But I'm finally reading it because with the second book in the series, The Ballad of Falling Dragons, when that's coming out later this month, and so everybody's talking about and rereading When the Moon Hatched, and the FOMO officially hit. I really have been hearing all of these glowing reviews again, people rereading it, and so I was like, okay, it's finally time. I need to dive in, but my plan is to read this one sort of as my ebook, like in the background between other books, most likely all month long, because it is 700 pages. So I don't know how long it will take me to film this actual vlog. For you guys, it'll just be, reading updates here and there, but for me it may be the whole month of May. I don't know, so we will see, but I'm officially diving in. Wish me luck. Okay, bye. Good morning, my friend. It is Monday morning. I have just got done with Pilates class, and I figured I would film this reading update before I actually physically started my drive to work. So I indeed started When the Moon Hatched last night. I did not get very far. I just read the prologue and chapter 1, but this book has intimidated me for so long because of how long it is. I'm going to read it in between other things and just sort of let it take me for a ride. I'm not reading the glossary. I'm not reading like the pronunciation guide. I'm just going in like I would with any fantasy book I read like growing up, where I just dove into it and let the author take me on a journey, and we'll see what happens. But so far, what I do have to say is I find the gods mythology very, very interesting. They're tied to different elements, but also like the void, and then I love the fact that the writing is beautiful. Like, I reread in that first chapter or so, or even the prologue, I reread certain passages multiple times just because the author did such a beautiful job putting the words together. Like, just the quotes you could pull from this book already are spectacular. I didn't want to get too hung up on that because I'll never finish reading this book, but I had to mention already that we don't know much about the plot. We don't know where this is going yet, but the writing is just stunning. So that's my first thoughts about the book, and I will try and read another little bit tonight or tomorrow night, and then let you guys know what I'm thinking after I've got a couple more chapters in. I'm back with a reading update for When the Moon Hatched. I read last night a good solid chunk. I am now, I think, at 17% in the ebook. Not quite as much as I kind of wanted to hit the 25% mark, but I got so tired. My eyeballs were not keeping up with me. So we stopped at 17% last night. But again, I really think this author can put together a beautiful phrase. Like, she really, really, really combines some lovely phrases and sentences, and just, I wanted to highlight different things just because I liked the way they sounded. On top of it being interesting plot or character development or description or whatever, but like just the word choices were lovely. But I will say, without getting too spoilery, our main character, Rave, we've now found out is like a vigilante assassin. She is part of this like underground group that is trying to undermine the king in their kingdom and free, like, the king is grabbing people, teenagers, children and teenagers that can do magic. They have elemental magic. And he is conscripting them into like the army for the kingdom. So this group is trying to stop that process. And they also basically have a like smaller elite group of assassins that take out very, very bad people. So Rave will get orders and she'll go complete a mission and she'll get paid for it. And she also does some of her own side work and has gotten in trouble for that. So we get to learn more about her as she completes a mission that she was sent on by the group, and also simultaneously gets to have the rest of the group help her free a big amount of kids who had been like kidnapped and forced into like fighting rings, essentially. So we find out that she is largely angry at the world, feels very disheartened, has a big distrust of people around her, and yet also tries to do what good she can to make her world better. She takes almost all of her earnings from her vigilante work and basically feeds homeless people in their kingdom. So as much as she's gruff and has a very, very hard shell exterior, like, she also has like a soft bit inside. We've also met her best friend slash roommate and found out that there had been someone else previously who did not make it. So there's like a sad backstory there that still needs to be further developed, I'm sure, as the book goes on. And we've met our, I think, main male character. When she completed her assignment, he came along right after and had been exceedingly interested in her, and she was like, "Get the heck away from me. You're dangerous, I can tell, and I want nothing to do with it." So now she's leery, and she probably has reason to be. So I'm waiting for more information on who this guy is in relation to the kingdom, the universe, etc., because he's a very powerful guy, but we don't quite know who he is yet. So interesting. But yeah, I am like wholly intrigued. Like I said, I read more than I thought I was going to last night, and yet didn't read as much as I wanted to. So that's a very good sign. I'm excited to see. I think I'm probably going to read more of this book tonight rather than starting a new one, and see how far I can get before my next update. So I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye! Hello, my friends. You get a slightly different view today. This is my little book room. You can see one of my bookcases in the background. But anyway, I thought I would fill you guys in on my When the Moon Hatched reading update. I sat down last night and read another chunk, so I'm now just over 50% of the way into the book. and I'm loving it. I definitely had to put it down last night because I was super tired. um, but I am thoroughly enjoying what I'm reading. Um, and it's not it's not unpredictable. Like I definitely have seen things coming as they've happened, but it's also such a unique world that I absolutely don't mind having sort of the predictable plot points as I'm still trying to figure out how the world itself works. So I feel like that's really working. I like the characters, I like their chemistry. I find the world dark but fascinating. And of course there's dragons. So who doesn't love who doesn't love a book with dragons? So right now I am super excited to continue. I'm probably going to read another chunk tonight, see how far I can get. But yeah, I'm happy I finally sat down and read this. And the timing is great because the sequel is coming out this month, I believe. So when I finish this one, assuming that I enjoy the second half as much as I have the first, I'll be able to pick up book 2 in the next couple of months. They are chunky, so it may not be an immediate back-to-back read because there's other things I also want to read, but I'm really glad I finally decided to just bite the bullet and check this one out. So that's my reading update for now. Thoroughly consumed by the story and enjoying it. All right. Hello, my friends. It is Jessica. I just wanted to give you guys a quick When the Moon Hatched reading update. I just got done with Pilates, and it's a nice chance to both cool down and update you guys. So I am now 70% of the way through the book, and I am definitely loving it. Again, the plot is not surprising me that much. Like, it's very predictable in some ways, but it's just really well done and beautifully written. I am definitely enjoying the way things are unfolding, and I really like the characters. I really, really, really love how the dragons in this world express grief and choose to essentially encapsulate themselves as like stone memorials, basically, to their loss. You know, they choose to die, and they do it in a visible, haunting way. And I just think that's such a beautiful concept. So I'm trying not to be spoilery. So I don't want to tell you guys like what's happening with the main characters because it's all spoilery, but I do appreciate that our main character, who didn't really remember her past, is now starting to begrudgingly remember her past life, so to speak, and wants nothing to do with it, at the same time is absolutely yearning for what she had and lost. I think it's really, really good. So we'll see what happens at the end. Hello, my friends. It is a very hot day today, and my house doesn't have the air conditioning put in yet, so we are just surviving sort of in the cool with the fans. So sorry if there's extra noise and that the lighting is a little bit on the dim side, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick When the Moon Hatched update. I realized that I don't think I ever said that this is a fantasy that contains dark elements. So there are some graphic scenes when she's completing her assassin assignments. There's a lot of talk of maiming and things like that. So, yeah, I would definitely check like trigger warnings and things before starting this book if you can, just so that you're mentally prepared for some of the darker elements that take place in this book. I also want to mention that it does get spicy. So if you are not a person who likes on-page descriptions of intimate interactions, the second half of the book definitely has some very in-your-face scenes. So just also know that this is a book that does touch on both heavy and intimate themes. So that aside, I'm 91% of the way through this book, so I'm hoping I can actually finish it tonight. I wanted to finish it last night and just got too tired, and 91% in a book that's like 700 plus pages is still enough pages that I just couldn't hold out and finish it. But it's getting real good. Like I said, there's a lot of plot points that feel familiar, but the world building, the characters themselves, the fantasy elements feel fresh, and I'm really enjoying it. It is, I don't know if I would call this a full 5-star read for me, maybe a 4.5. I don't know. It's really, really great, but it's also just not absolutely knock my socks off, so maybe a 4.75. I'm definitely going to read the sequel, so yeah. I really, really enjoy how our main character is now aware of essentially her previous life and is forcibly trying to hold back the memories because she's recognizing that something really awful must have happened to her, and she doesn't want to sort of like relive the trauma to figure out how she got where she got. So she's trying to essentially fight everything, including like giving up the good memories so she doesn't have to experience the bad ones. And it just feels like a very visceral, real reaction somebody might have in that situation. The love story is great. Khan, the love interest, he's just breaking my heart. Oh my god. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to get too spoilery in there, but you know, that's kind of as much as I'll say. I have been like highlighting in my Kindle book, and a lot of it is the things that he says to her, because I'm just like, oh, so good. And I still stand that like the way that the dragons grieve and choose to turn themselves into moons in this world is one of the best dragon-based fantasy concepts I've read in a long time. So I really, really, really love that aspect of this world. That's my update for now. And hopefully the next update will be the actual end of the book and where I land after reading what I'm sure is going to be an epic ending. Just pushing me into reading the next one. Okay, bye. Well, my friends, I did it. I finally finished When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker, and I really enjoyed it. I immediately bought the sequel. I won't jump into it right away because I've got some other books I want to finish, hopefully before the month is over, but I'm definitely going to read it in June. Let's see. Overall thoughts. Again, the plot is not completely unexpected. I definitely saw one of the plot reveals at the end happening. The other one was a complete surprise though, so that was pleasant, very exciting, and I think it'll lead to a very good conflict in book 2. So I'm excited for that. And of course, I can't tell you anything without the spoilers. But anyway, so I was thinking about like what I would rate it last night. And I think I need to sit with it some more. But my initial thoughts are, if I'm going purely on vibes, it's a 5-star. I had a really good time, really enjoyed it. If I were going on things like, you know, the plot, that's more of a 4.5, because again, I didn't feel surprised most of the time. Like I felt like I felt like I knew what was coming, but I enjoyed the way that it was done nonetheless. So like I said, 4.5 for plot, 5 for the overall vibes. So like on Goodreads, I put a 5-star because I'd rather go 5-star than 4-star. But I think if I were to really, really sit down and pick it apart, it would be like a 4.75 for me. So very, very good. Super fun. And like I said, immediately for me, as in not waiting 6 months to read book 2. Immediately I'll be reading the sequel next month, most likely. So yeah, that is sort of the end of this vlog. I have had a really good time filming like little updates. I hope it's been interesting for you guys too. I want to try and do more of this, but I'm not good at like capturing the actual reading moments. It's more just the reading updates. Still trying to find my rhythm with filming this kind of video, but thanks for your patience. And yeah, those are my thoughts. I had a good time and I tried to be mostly spoiler free. So I hope you feel like I was successful. Anyway, I will see you guys again soon, and happy reading. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and pop back for more videos. Okay, bye.